Hi everyone, this is Paolo Tezzon and I am the R&D, the Research and Development Manager for Diapason loudspeaker system from Brescia, Italy. And I am very pleased to welcome you into this 5th episode of the series of short video clip we are shooting in order to convey you all the technical insights relative to Didascalia. This is the 5th video, as mentioned, this meaning that we have 4 videos available before this one, where we covered basically everything related to the electroacoustic compartment of the Didascalia project. We talk about the transducers we developed in-house for this specific project, which is turning into being a technical platform for the Diapason designs to come. And we also spoke about the crossover network. We made some, here and there, some reference also to some cabinet designs details, only to explain better how we conceived Didascalia, what was the main design goals, and the reason why we decided to go on with 2 passive units loading for a 2-way design. In fact, the Didascalia goal was to overcome the limitation of the 2-way design by keeping all the good benefits that come with such an electroacoustic configuration. The last remaining thing is to spend a few words about the overall cabinet construction, which is a state-of-the-art creation in itself, we believe. Starting from the inner structure, which is the foundation of the cabinet construction of Didascalia, we have a baffle and a vertical rib, which are made out of high-pressure, multi-layer Baltic birch wood, in order to have the maximum amount of strength and the maximum amount of rigidity when it comes to the surface where the transducers are mounted. Of course, not exactly the transducers are mounted in this very tight surface, but the leather-covered baffle, which is providing the time alignment to the active sounding speakers. This configuration of the leather-covered baffle allow us to have the emission centers of the 2 transducers, which are aligned, and this means basically that when you sit from a distance of 2 meters, the travel, each wavelength coming from the 2 different speakers are going through the same exact amount of distance. And this means that we have a mechanical time alignment of the 2 transducers before any management coming from the crossover network. And this is beautiful because such a detail allows to have a beautiful staging and a beautiful effect, meaning that the speakers are perfectly capable to completely disappear from your perception, leaving the scene to a beautiful sound stage where all the subject involved in the music reproduction appears in the space and not located whatsoever in the speakers. The construction of Didascalia allowed us to overcome another typical limitation of the 2-way design, because thanks to these side wings, which are available with a complicated construction of HDF, high density wood, in a sandwich configuration, wrapped with a layer of wood inside for the lacquer version, or the same wings are available obtained with 8 slats of solid walnut wood, cross-grained and glued together, and the 2 of them, of course, the 2 versions CNC machine, providing these big cheeks left and right to the speakers, because these cheeks, they basically allow to have a very well calibrated loading of the front firing emission in order to make a 2-way design, which would have the tendency to sound quite small, sounding big instead, overcoming the size limitation which are typically affecting such an electroacoustic configuration. Also, those 2 main wings, left and right, they work as damp shells because they are viscoelastically attached to the main structure. They are CNC carved inside, so while they provide the proper loading to the emission, they also dampen the overall structure, and even further, they provide a standing wave-free environment, thanks to the inside CNC machine that you cannot see right now, to happening and being located into the main loading enclosure. Wood structure is then further enhanced in rigidity and damping thanks to a metal exoskeleton which is surrounding the overall structure, making it extremely stiff, extremely silent, and the best of the best in terms of cabinetry when it comes to an high-end loudspeaker system. We made a small mention while looking at this detail, which is the back of Didascalia, which is a huge chunk of CNC machine aluminum, because we were talking about the management of the excursion of the side drone units. But at the same time, it's worth to mention back again this piece because it gives you exactly the idea of the quality and the amount of material we use in order to create a state-of-the-art enclosure for Didascalia. Last but not least, I would like to mention the spikes. The spikes of Didascalia, first of all, we have an isostatic approach because laying the speaker into 3 points provides the perfect balance and the perfect stability. But also the spikes are actually made out of 2 different elements with an elastomer inside. The compliance of the elastomer inside the spike has been calculated in relation of the overall weight of the Didascalia, of its overall mass, because this way we were able to avoid the transmission of vibration into the listening environment. Basically, every loudspeaker system, while performing, particularly when it comes to excursion, when it comes to bass frequencies, it has a mechanical movement which creates a vibration, and this vibration can travel across the listening environment and can affect, in a bad way, your stereo system. Think about if you have a turntable, or if you have a digital player with a disc, with an SACD, for instance. Those vibrations can interfere with the reading of your favorite music, and while they interfere, basically those vibrations are reproduced and captured by the pickup laser of your digital player or by the cartridge of your turntable, creating this way a chain reaction, a bad loop of production and reproduction of dirtiness inside of the sound. Thanks to the decoupling system available in the Didascalia spikes, this problem is completely avoided. And therefore, we are not capable, thanks to all this detail, to produce an excellent reproduction of music and of sound, but we are also able to provide an excellent reproduction of silence, which is the canvas where sound is painted, and it is the precondition for a proper music reproduction. This was the last of the mini-series of video clip relative to the technical insights of Diapason Didascalia. Thank you so much for following us and being with us, discovering all those details, and see you next time. Bye-bye.